Guys, Celina, Alec, 12 days couple training Kaminokan.
Yeah.
Tell me, how was it? And was it what you expected it to be? Or tell me about your experience.
Well, I think it exceeded our expectations. You know, I came here. We haven't. It was more of, okay, you know, we do this and we accept anything. What comes to us, you know. So it's something, that you just have to be open to it. And it was a beautiful journey and very painful one. And also, it really confronted us with a lot of our inner self, our demons, and it was an internal journey, you know, to get to know ourselves better, our bond. Also, me and Celina, we grew, and I think that also was able to strengthen our relationship in the sense that we know each other's weaknesses and strengths, you know, and we're now, I think, because of this training, able to communicate much better and know, know how to fine tune on each other's, on our inner primal self, you know, and that was very interesting for me also to understand how to connect to my inner self and what frequency to, you know, to use to channel into that in that certain how do you call it, brainwave to enter that very closed consciousness, you know, that we don't really realize that it's there, you know, but it's really there, but it's just locked away from us because of all the noise and all the, you know, all the facade and walls that we build when we're in our day-to-day lives, in the society that we're at, all the circumstances that we've been faced with. There's always these stimulation that to you know, to protect yourself from all these senses. Is we're building all these different barriers, you know, and by doing this program, I learned to let go, you know, and to open myself up and to connect with my emotional self, my intuition better. So it really opened doors for me, you know.
Amazing. Amazing. What about you, Celina? For you, it was quite a journey, right?
Yeah, because I saw the program from Ellen, and when she posted it, I said, oh, this is great, you know, I could never do that. You know, I know Ellen is fit and she works out way more than I do. But I said, but hey, Alec, maybe you should check this out. And I know he was like already in touch with the program team, and he was booking something. I didn't know about the dates or anything, but I just said, okay, you book it and I'll come and support you. So I think the first thing is he booked it for himself, and then I think he changed it to a couple thing. And then I was like, oh, sure, yeah, let's do it together. I mean, okay, I'll challenge myself. It's a good time to do it. And I think it was supposed to be last year, and then we moved it to this year.
Yeah, correct.
And I was happy for that because it gave us more time to prepare. And so I'm like, okay, great, let's go and do this thing. And I didn't read anything or watch anything.
So what surprised you? Now you're laughing like the people watching. What surprised you?
it's not a meditation retreat. It's not, it's not something that you just decide on a whim. But because of that, I think it brought out my own inner desire to survive, my survival instinct. And if I just stick with things and I trust myself, then I can do anything, because this was really a surprise of how intense everything was. And it was at first quite physical, intense exercise and challenges. But when I look at it now, it was really an inside journey through your heart, through your mind, through your past. So I think for me anyway, it was a way to rediscover myself.
That's well said. Yeah, I call it always the journey of self-discovery. Discovering, I believe that there's no substitute for working on our insecurities, on our traumas, our demons, our weaknesses. I mean, people think, for example, if we have so much money and success, that will cover everything up, right? But I believe that we cannot enjoy our success and our money and whatever it is, our growth in life, if we don't manage that system here. And if we not working and facing our traumas and our weaknesses. And for the Kaminokan, the way I learned, that's why I teach it this way, is we have to take the student through adversity, through uncertainty, through frustration, self-doubt,
Yes.
giving up,
Yes.
being angry, being annoyed,
Yes.
hating the instructor, like what the fuck, what did you sign me in here, sign me up for? Yeah. That is the principle of life, because we believe that life doesn't give a shit about how you feel. If it hits, it hits.
Yeah.
So here's the question now. You run away, you stay on the ground, or you get your shit together and get up and boom, walk. So what we believe, and I strongly believe, is that I say, God, don't pray for easy times. Pray for the strength to overcome the hard times. Yeah. Right? So what was the moment where you mostly doubted and said, okay, fuck that shit. This is nothing. This is completely confusing. What was the moment for you guys?
Well, for me, I think that moment reached when I was doing the standing meditation. Because, we meditate for an hour, 2 hours maybe, and then after that, your mind starts to become uneasy, and it's okay, I'm done with the meditation, but now what, and I see these rocks and they're not moving, there's no other additional rocks that are coming by, so it's like frustrations are coming in, and all sorts of emotions that you're dealing with. 6 hours is a long time to stand still and really focus on yourself. So I started to travel inwards and to focus on maybe on the past, what are the memories that I had as a kid, to create certain images and try to remember those significant moments in my life, and what formed you as a individual, what are the things that you can say, this is what is part of me, and that's how I become me, and then frustrations, and it's like, are we I think we're done with the meditation, but it was like that, like I had to just push through and
I think I was 100% sure the rocks were not coming on time.
yeah.
During the standing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you start to think about the sun and the ants, and you notice the details.
Small things, yeah.
So how would you describe it? How would you describe to the people who are curious in Kaminokan, how would you describe Kaminokan? What is the Kaminokan program?
Kaminokan is, for me, it's self-discovery. It's like when you're let's say a kid, and you learn to skate for the first time.
Yeah.
And you make a really big fall. It hurts. It's life. That's part of life. You suffer, but then with suffering there comes beauty and happiness. So if you don't know how to suffer, you also lose the value of the beautiful things in life, or suffering is not always negative. It's also, it's what you said also, the yin and the yang, there's always a balance in life.
Yes.
And if this is not in balance or the harmony is not there, then what's the value of life?
Absolutely. Like light has no relevance without darkness, right?
Yes. We all went through darkness in our lives, and that makes it actually those dark moments in your life that makes life more worth living, and you put more value to and you appreciate every single thing, and even relationships, and then the next generation, you see them go through life the way you did, and now with a different perspective, you see, they're sometimes frustrated and trying to, but suffering and hardship, that's very important.
Yes.
If you see it in your children, they say, it's so hard to do this, but then without that, there's no growth.
No,
so
I agree with it.
Suffering is very important to stimulate the growth.
And to get to know yourself. It's the extreme situations where you get to know yourself and get to know your partner or your friends. Yeah. It's the extreme situations, you end up in a fight outside with us guys, and then all of a sudden you see that all of your buddies who you thought that they're your buddies, they're all running away, and maybe one is standing next to you. So you know that this is the one who will go with me through hard times. They're all are just blows, like leaves in the wind. Yeah. But what would you say, how can a couple benefit from Kaminokan? How can a couple, in your point of view?
I think Kaminokan can like us, I think a couple can benefit through this program by understanding and I think it's a lot with the communication that is just being opened up between two individuals, because we're very different from each other, and sometimes it's there are some struggles in trying to connect or relate to one another, and if a couple goes through these experiences in Kaminokan, then it's it's like you're going through it really marks you as a couple, like an experience that you, for example, every year we we climb mountains together, you know, and these experiences are very essential for our growth as a couple. It marks us, and we grow together, and we stand stronger after an experience like this. And
that's why we thought, let's do another challenge together.
Yeah.
So every year we like to climb and go hiking.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's try something, maybe a level up. You know, that's how Alex said, let's try something together. And we thought it was a very individual program, because we were prepared for that from what we understood. But then I think the couple is very unique, because at first we're separated and we have to deal with our own problems, but you can't help it because there's someone else in the room next door and you're going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you mentioned the word appreciate. Because that was my first issue when I noticed that I thrive on appreciation, and it came out. And I think that I realized that maybe I don't need to have appreciation anymore to keep going.
Interesting.
That was...
that is interesting.
Yeah, if I can just do it for myself and for my kids, it's good enough.
Wow. That's an interesting
That was my
enlightenment.
price. My old price.
That's amazing, because that is where you don't look for validation anymore. Validation is good, we all like it, but we should not be dependent on validation. This is what we all are. That was years and years my problem also. I was looking for validation, and I always fell into traps where I got misused and abused by this seeking and looking for validation. But once we create that certain self-respect towards us, through the adversity, through the pain, through overcoming it, and still standing there, you develop a certain kind of self-respect towards yourself where you think, who the fuck is someone else? And what about me gives you the impression that I give a damn about what you think about me?
Yeah.
This is what the goal of this training is. Is to give you this, man, you're unique. You're the one and only with this DNA. You're a creation, a masterpiece. Why should you seek for validation from another human being? Respect, yes. Validation is something good.
Yeah.
But if we need validation, we turn into slaves, emotional slaves, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. How would you describe the relationship to your instructor, and in this case me? How would you describe it in because it's a change, right?
Yeah.
So how would you describe it in your view? Yeah, you can be blunt, please, yeah? Completely blunt. Like, how would you describe it? Like, what thoughts went through your head? Many students can 100% relate with you guys, what you've been through.
Well, for us, we're entrepreneurs. We have our own businesses. We're used to doing our own thing. We're parents, so we have a home that we manage. We have a team behind us that helps us. So we're used to having to make decisions together and directing things, and coming here and having someone tell us, no, you can't do this. No, you have to finish that. No, you can't give up. You're gonna do it now, not later. Now, not when you want to.
Yes.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Accepting.
Giving away control.
The control.
Yeah.
And because we grow up in a world that teaches us that when you're out of control, then life will make decisions for you, and you can like it or not like it, but you're gonna get it. So I think as we grow up, we learn that if there's certain things you can control, you try to control them, because at least you kind of have to sail your own boat, right?
Yes.
And so I think unlearning that is something that we also learn. You don't need to control everything. Especially in our relationship, because it was a couple thing. Like, trusting each other was a big part of our growth in this short 14 days.
suffering together causes a fusion, right?
Yes, but
Yes.
also respect for each other. Like, oh, he did it.
Yes.
He went through it, and Alec went further than me. So for me, it was important as a woman to see my man be strong and, you know, take over the situation,
Amazing.
but also support me and tell me, you can do it, come on, let's do it together. I'm here, you know, I'm right behind you, or I'm in front of you, or follow me.
Amazing.
You know, giving me direction is what I need, because I'm at a space in my life where I want to go back to my feminine energy.
Yes.
You know, and I want my man to take over the masculine energy. I
Yes.
think a lot of my friends can relate that women in today's world were asked to do so many things, right?
Absolutely.
And even before we become moms or we become wives, there's
agree.
already a lot of things that are asked from us. So the feminine energy is somehow put aside.
Yes.
And going back to that feminine energy of trust and letting go and letting someone guide us is very difficult.
Absolutely.
And this is something that I appreciated from your program, because I saw that my husband was able to show his lion self, and I'm able to see that it's an energy that I can work with, that I can, you know.
I have to tell you guys also that I really much appreciate the fact that you allowed me to lead, because I know that you are strong personalities, as 90% of my students who come here. I really respect that and appreciate that. And I told you guys this also, that my main focus and aim is not to be liked, because this is not the goal for me. For me is, I have to be that ugly face, especially in the first 4 or 5 days, because I want, in best cases, I want for you guys to take something out of this program what you can use all your life for your benefit, and that you develop some tools over here which you can work on when you go back and teach your kids and teach your family and teach your friends and be the living example, you know. And that doesn't work by me looking, oh, do you like this? Is that okay? Do you have pain? You want the towel from me? You know? And oh, you don't like it? Will you give me a bad rate? And this is impossible.
Yeah.
You have to take the risk and have to have the courage to be disliked.
Yeah.
You know? But you have to take over the responsibility as a teacher to say, okay, fuck it if they don't like me, but make sure that they learn something for themselves when they go back, and then I'm in peace with myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to thank you guys that you gave me so much trust.
Thank you.
On this, yeah? So you have any last message to the world
To the world.
about the Kaminokan program as a couple? Then there's the camera.
Well, I think this is highly recommended for any couple that wants to strengthen their relationship. Also to explore your inner self, you know, and find that frequency of two individuals. Any other thoughts that you want to share?
For me, Kaminokan is like climbing mountains, because that's what I can relate to. There are some difficult ones and there are easier ones, and we all have different mountains to climb, whether we choose them or not, and somehow we find ourselves there. And with Kaminokan, for us, it was the right time, and it was something that we both came willingly for, not because we had any problems or not because we had any issues, but because we wanted to be better for ourselves, for our marriage, and for our kids.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that I see we could do on a yearly basis, not because we want more suffering, but we see the benefit. So I think Kaminoken is for you if you're ready to commit. It's really a commitment. If you want to change, if you really want to see yourself improve, you just have to trust the process. It's very difficult. It's not for everyone. But I've seen people here that have been taking it from all ages and all backgrounds, and I really believe in it. Something else I want to add about Coach. He had me when I saw his values and his morality. So even if you're someone who struggles with control or with direction, I think that having someone you respect and having someone that doesn't falter from his set of values are always the same. When he says he's on time, he's on time. When he says we're going to do this now, we're really going to do it now. There's no changing of plans. So that kind of consistency is something that can continue into our daily lives as well. Giving that to each other as a couple, having that word fulfilled every time you say so. So I think that's trust building and respect building, and I think that's how we were able to get through it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful journey for us, and it exceeded our expectations, and it's just something that you have to experience yourself. It's hard to explain it verbally, but
you can't describe Kaminoken.
Yeah, you cannot describe it. It's something
but you have to experience it.
Yeah, you have to experience it and you have to feel it. Like for me, it was really an internal journey. Yes, we were suffering with the dry swimming, for example, or the meditations, or the jumping. That was
very hard.
But it's really internal. Although physically you're exhausted, but there's this tipping point that that tipping point of sort of that you're traveling from your body to your mind, and I saw that a few times, and by pushing yourself to the max and then go exceed that, and that's when you discover yourself. And that's when you notice things like, wow, I can do this, I can. It's something that you have to see, you have to experience.
It's a tailor-made program. It's designed for each individual. It's very carefully curated, but I also have to give big thanks to the whole Kaminoken team. I want to give big thanks to Coach, particularly for never letting us down.
So much respect for Coach.
Yes, thank you very much, and for motivating us and inspiring us. And I want to thank Magali for her amazing hospitality and sharing their beautiful space with us for this intense few days. We felt at home. To the entire team, to Widdy and her team, thank you so much for creating great meals, taking care of the house for us and all our needs. And we really appreciated the meals are so good. The food is splendid. And the massages. You get rewards.
And the laughing yoga. Eka.
Yeah, Eka.
That's a highlight.
Amazing.
That was a highlight.
It's real though.
Yeah.
It's really special.
Very interesting energy, yes.
So highly recommended.
Yeah.
If you're ready for it, thank you. And thank us.
Thank you, Coach.